Hi, it's Mary with a passion for paper. Today I'm here with some beautiful vintage cards for journaling that I received from HoneyRuthDesigns Etsy shop. And I just want to use several of these beautiful vintage cards to stuff these lovely floating pockets. And I will be listing these for sale in my Etsy shop. Hopefully later today. I do have a tutorial for how to build and create these wonderful floating pockets. I sew them out across the bottom and I embellish them with some lovely neutrals here. And these are the two that I have been working on today. And I just want to show you what lovely things are inside these beautifully coffee and tea dyed floating pockets. So these cards are from HoneyRuthDesigns Etsy shop, and I will link her shop below, and you can check these wonderful little vintage cards out. They're in beautiful sepia tones, so they go so well with all of my coffee and tea dyed paper, which is what I love, and they have that beautiful aged vintage look. I'm just showing you several of them, and you can print them out on cardstock or paper, and you can see how I've used them here. Some of them are printed double-sided printing, and some I just used my vintage distress ink around the back. I use the vintage photo distress oxide ink to just ink around the back and make it look a bit more aged. So that's a wonderful, easy option. Also, you can double side print. This has some antique ledger printed on the back. So these are printed on cardstock. This is another beautiful vintage card from HoneyRuthDesigns, and this one I've just backed with some of my coffee and tea dyed paper glued onto the back of this lovely card. And then I also am enclosing an embossed vintage Rolodex card that I coffee dyed and then embossed. Love the way that came out. Here's some more beautiful cards that are included, and these both have vintage French cahier paper on the back. And let's see what else is in here. Another beautiful card with some coffee and tea dyed paper on the back from HoneyRuthDesigns. This is a lovely cluster that I made with Paris label, some vintage lace, coffee and tea dyed paper sewn onto this lovely coffee dyed artist paper, and a beautiful index card that I created using, you can kind of faintly see the index line there, but that is a coffee stain using a plastic lace tablecloth. And then the kind of extra cool item in here is a lovely little mini booklet. So this has beautiful images on the front, coffee and tea dyed papers throughout, and I love the torn edges, how pretty they are. It has a vintage French book page as one of the pages, and then some lined paper here and another hand torn coffee dyed paper. It is the 2-hole pamphlet stitch with embroidery floss in the middle, and love the slightly grungy look there. And here is the back. Beautiful little booklet, and that just goes right in here just to take a look at the pocket. It is messy stitching across the bottom, beautiful French word chérie, embossed paper, and a couple of laces. So here is loaded pocket number 1, and I will go ahead and be listing this in my Etsy shop. I have sold loaded pockets before. It is a fun thing for me to create, and I did also make a video on a tutorial how to make these. They're really fun and easy to make, and so I will link that below as well. And all of these beautiful vintage cards, again, are from HoneyRuthDesigns Etsy shop. So there is loaded pocket number 1. And let's see what is in our loaded pocket number 2. Again, we have some lovely vintage laces, some French book page, a little craft paper, and then these wonderful vintage cards. This one's backed with coffee dyed paper. This one has been distress inked. And this lovely old shoe with some coffee dyed paper on the back. Love those. These are just beautiful cards from that kit. And I had this in my own stash, so you can, print it double-sided with anything that you happen to have in your stash, or you can just distress ink them. So a couple different options there. We have another beautiful embossed Rolodex card. Love those. I have a few of them left. I need to make another batch soon. And this is a really fun journal card. It is just some sewing, messy stitching, coffee dyed index card. These tiny tabs of the Victorian ladies are also from HoneyRuthDesigns, and I love those as well. And I did do a whole video featuring ephemera that I made with these beautiful vintage lady tiny tabs. So take a look for those as well if you're interested. I love this look on the back. We have some sewn threads there. So all of these goodies are in here. And again, here's the floating pocket, and it is sewn along the bottom. You can kind of see the messy stitching here for that shabby chic look. And we'll just fill that back up. And I hope you found some inspiration here. I just wanted to pop in and do a quick video, say hello, hope everyone is well, and let you know about these latest wonderful little vintage cards. They're so fun to work with and so versatile for loading pockets and all sorts of fun things. So hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.